this week feel longer than a Sunday to Sunday week in some ways?
It's an interesting week because as soon as you put the game to bed that night, you just immediately go back to work and you do, 2 or 3 days work within one day, and then you come today and it's really Thursday and Friday. So you kind of you have a lot to do in very little time. So you just go, and here we are. So you're able to get a little bit more done because it's earlier in the season. So we had time in camp and time, before we played the Lions to kind of get a head start on this one. So that does make it for us a little bit easier than maybe it would have on a normal week. But look, it's easier for us as coaches than it is for the players, right? For us, it's not sleeping and thinking, and for our players, it's making sure that their bodies feel well. And I always say this on a Thursday game, I give these guys a ton of credit for how hard they play and how physical they play to go and do it again in such a short period of time. I have a ton of respect for them, and for that, I'll stay up and do everything that I can possibly to help them play their best and win the game.
When you get to Thursday, are you just trying to clear your mind at that point, or are you still going over your play sheets and call sheets?
Like as far as this Thursday?
Personally,
Yeah, for the next 2 days, I'll kind of go back now that everything's been installed to the players, and I'll just kind of watch film and go through it again just to make sure it's clear-headed and, catch my breath a little bit and go through it again and make sure that I like everything that we installed. And there might still be some tweaks up to the game. But in all honesty, I think you always kind of work to the game and then through the game. I've never been a big believer in the haze in the barn on Friday and you just go. You work through the game, you get new ideas. I mean, something might come in the third quarter of the game, so you just never stop, and that's how we'll be, and that's how I'll be studying it until the game's over.
Jeff, was Micah able to play a little bit more than maybe you thought? What did you think?
More than I thought? I thought he was going to play the whole game, so, I wasn't going to take him out. Maybe, I'm not sure. To be honest with you, when I was up there, I wasn't counting his reps. I was just hoping that he would continue to go back out there. But I know they had a range they wanted him to get to because the guy, we've barely known him for a week. He hasn't practiced much, so we had to take care of him too.
Who monitors that and keeps track of that stuff so you don't have to?
Well, we have coaches in the booth who are doing that. We have other support staff that's doing that, and DeMarcus is down there too. Just kind of keeping an eye on that. I certainly was not keeping an eye on that. And if anybody asked me, I would have told them it was 10 less than it was.
What'd you make?
Go ahead.
I was just saying, what'd you make of his impact? Just him changing the game like you thought he would?
Yeah, for his limited snaps. The way he ran to the ball, the pressures, the sack. It's kind of what I was hoping he would do. And hopefully he'll do more, and we'll be able to use him more the more we have him in practice and the more reps that he can play. And, the more comfortable he is with the guys in his room to play off each other, to run games together, to really learn the defense. So I thought he did an awesome job. And the more I'm around him, the more I'm impressed with him, not just as a player, but as a person and the way he approaches it, the way he's trying to have relationships with his teammates. He's a fun guy to be around. He loves ball, and he's smart, and I respect him a ton, and I'm glad he's on our team.
So given just how little you actually practice in a week like this, would it be hard to expect him to play much more than he did the other night?
I hope he plays more than he did the other night, but we'll see. And I know that's what Matt kind of said the same thing. It all depends on how he feels, right? And then we'll kind of go from there. And then hopefully pretty soon we're talking about him not coming out of the game. So hopefully this will be one of the last weeks for that. But we got to ramp him up. And I get it, guys. Big picture. He had an impact on the game for sure, and so did the rest of our D-line, and so did the rest of our team. That was one of the – I told the guys after the game, just being up there and seeing how fast they played and seeing how hard they played, and they ran to the ball and they tackled and they're punching at the ball and the excitement, and then watching it on film the next day, that's probably one of my proudest moments as a coach, they were relentless for the entire game, and it was everybody. Everybody who stepped foot on that field, they just played so hard, and I appreciate that so much as a coach, and it's a credit to the staff, it's a credit to the players, and we got to do it again.
Jeff, Micah told us this afternoon, when he got to the fourth quarter, he's still feeling pretty good, and he wanted those snaps to get into football shape, right? To be out there and get that.
you have to account that this is almost his time to condition for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and that's what practice is for. But so he didn't have practice, so he's getting that in the game. And he was tired. I mean, he knows he's got to get in football shape. I mean, and he's strained so much and he plays so hard. It's just his play style, he's going to get tired. But, this week we really didn't practice, so it's going to continue to be an ongoing process.
So he just showed up the other day, and he ends up playing the game. He's playing defensive end. He's playing defensive tackle. A, how are you able to pull it off? And then B, what's the benefit of him moving to different positions?
We pulled it off by meeting extra with him, and then again, I give him a lot of credit. I mean, he's sharp. I mean, he retains stuff really quick. He asks good questions. He meets extra. Give credit to DeMarcus, him. He did a great job preparing. As far as, I think in football, you try to take advantage of certain matchups. If you feel, and this is never disrespect to any other player on another team, it's just not how I am, but if you feel like there's a guy that you want to attack with a certain player, then let's move him around. If there's a certain protection look we can get by putting him in a different area, let's move him around. If there's somebody else we can free up by putting him over there so they all go this way, let's put him there. So I think we have to continue to figure out how to win games and figure out our matchups. And if we feel like we have a mismatch or we feel like there's something in protection that we want to kind of exploit, then that's our job to do that. Like I've always said, I'm not just going to put a guy because he's a DN. I'm not just going to put him a DN and let him go. I mean, that's our job to help him and help our team.
When you're going against a quarterback like Jaden Daniels, the adage is to contain him in the pocket, right? Just because there's not a lot of big guys that can run with him. When you have Micah Parsons, are you able to be more aggressive in your pass rush and try to affect him as a passer to not just contain him?
Yeah, sure. I mean, yeah, he's impressive because he'll stay in the pocket and throw the ball just like he'll run and run to run and run to throw. And, I mean, for what he's done in a short period of time in this league, I mean, it's incredible. I have a ton of respect watching him. I've never coached against him. I've never met him, but it jumps off the tape. You talk about Micah's speed. And again, Micah's got speed. You saw him running sideline to sideline in that game, but we have other guys who have speed too. I mean, all of a sudden you got Coop out there, Quay out there. Watch how fast Van Ness and RG were running around. I mean, we got guys that can roll, and we're going to have to because he's fast. But we played fast as a defense. And again, I can't tell you, how can I explain this? When I'm watching film, when I hit the pause button at the end of the play and you see 11 guys all in the clip, I mean, that is like the greatest thing in the world for a coach. One, it shows they're bought in. Two, it shows that they love each other because they're playing hard for each other, right? And they're giving everything they have to each other. I mean, that's one of the greatest things as a coach. It's you find out a lot about your team when you hit the pause button. You find out how much they love football. You find out how much they love each other and how hard they're going to play for each other. I mean, that's what we're going to have to do again Thursday night because that's a fast player and it's a fast team.
What percentage did you see that from Sunday's film when you paused and saw
I saw it more than I've ever seen it since I've been here, and I am hopeful that continues to get better and better each week. And that's not easy. That's hard. And we're going to keep pushing each other, coaches and players, to make sure that happens again.
What's you attribute that to? Because we've heard you talk about it from the moment you got here, and it's not like your guys haven't done it, right? They have bought in, and they have rallied 11 hats to the ball, but if it's to that degree, why do you think it was different?
Well, I think you really started to see it at the end of last year. And remember, I told you the most important thing was how could we get back to where we finished the season? And the challenge was where we finished the season last year, I thought our play style was really good. I thought we played hard. That goes back to guys knowing what they're doing, guys having confidence, and guys not being afraid to make a mistake. Those are the most important things we talk about all the time is taking the ball away and how hard we're going to play. In order to do that, you have to have confidence. And that's what you earn on the practice field, and you practice that hard. In order to do that, when you get into a game between you and your coaches, and our coaches have done a wonderful job, I thought, in that game plan last week to get them ready, they got to know what they're doing. And they can't be afraid to make a mistake, so they're kind of tiptoeing into things. And you're not worried about missing a tackle. You're going to go run as fast as you can and take a shot, and you're not going to break down because you know there's 10 other guys following you, right? So I think it started at the end of last year. It continued in OTAs. It continued in training camp. And then I just think they let it all out. It's a confident group that loves to play football, that loves to play with each other. They're coachable, and they just kind of got together, and that's how hard they played. But that's the standard now. And if they're not doing it, then they shouldn't be on the field, and someone else should go in the game.
Is there,
Go ahead, Paul.
is
there an added challenge to defending the run when a number of different players are utilizing the running game by the offense that you now have to account for?
When the quarterback can run, that's probably the hardest challenge, because now you have to account for him, not just on pass plays, but if it's a designed quarterback run and they're going to spread you out and try to create extra numbers, yeah, that is certainly a challenge.
You intimated before the season started that you had some plans for Edger and Cooper that you would really like to use. But now that Parsons is here, does that change? I mean, he's sort of the chess piece. Can Cooper just have that kind of season without you doing anything special?
I think we have a lot of chess pieces, and I think that's my job to move them around and put them in those places. I think you got multiple chess pieces on the front. I think you have them in the linebacker room, and you have them in the back end. I think, like here's a good example. Xavier McKinney didn't have an interception, so no one right now is talking about what Xavier McKinney did in that game. That's one of the best games I've seen him play. His disguise, his communication. There were some times when Evan intercepted the one pass, I didn't know if we were going to be right. And all of a sudden he popped out and got to where he was supposed to. So it was X, it was the pressure, and then it was Evan that were all involved in the interception. The other thing X did was he played the run about as well as I've seen him. And the way we inserted him into different spots to do that and how physical he was, I mean, I thought it was one of the best games that he played. It doesn't look like that from the stat line, but there's another chess piece, right? So we're fortunate right now to have a bunch of guys who, you know, can retain, can take it to the field in year 2, and they give you the capability to do that.
I know Sunday's game was ancient history now, but you're going to play more backs like this, so I'll ask it. Gibbs caught 10 passes against you for 30 yards. What's the key to doing that and replicating that in future games?
Well, if you look on tape, a lot of the checkdowns that they've hit on people were explosives, right? I mean, Goff drops back, they got those dynamic receivers, or it could be anybody, and you get so much depth and coverage. So now the check down is caught, and it goes for about 15. When you start to pressure a quarterback and it speeds him up, what that allows you to do in some underneath zones is when the quarterback has to quickly get rid of the ball and check the ball down and doesn't have time to sit back and try to throw it deep and allow the defenders to get even deeper, it's all tied in. So if you're a Coop and the quarterback's about to get hit and you feel it, you can start to break faster because you're sped up. So that's rush plus coverage tied into zone coverage, which makes it, you saw a lot of catch tackles. As soon as they caught the ball, there were multiple people there. And that starts up front. And then it goes to those guys getting their feet in the ground, getting their eyes on the quarterback and anticipating when he's going to set and transfer and throw the ball. And I thought they did a really good job of doing that. We didn't do that good enough last year. So that was a big emphasis that we made. But then give credit to the players because, I mean, I thought the way they broke on the ball, I mean, 10 catches for 30 yards, yeah, that's, I mean, when I heard that the other day, that was like kind of shocking to me, but that's an unbelievable job of those guys.
Jeff, you mentioned X, and you've talked about Micah's football IQ. Does that mean you're going to have another guy that's texting you and pestering you for the game plan right away? Because he was talking about your drawings already, and that you mentioned you showed him some of them, but you haven't showed them all. Like, is that the kind of guy he appears to be today?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because he'll ask good questions, and he'll ask, you know, when he sees something where he could be placed, so you could see the wheels spinning already. And for me, honestly, I tell the defense all the time, I want their input, right? So say you're the player and you feel really good about something and you really like a certain call and you're a really good player, let me know, because there's a pretty good chance if I call that and you feel that way about it, you're going to make it work and you're going to take ownership in it, right? So I'm constantly asking the players for feedback on stuff. Like, I don't care who gets the credit. I don't care whose idea it is. I just want to win, and I want them to play well. So, yeah, constant communication, and I definitely believe he's going to be one of those guys.
How do you prioritize making a two-dimensional quarterback one-dimensional? Is it more important to just take the legs away, make him a passer, or it's passing league? You want to make sure you really stop him, get him off the spot, and you might give up some runs, but don't let him be caught.
I don't think you can just do one. I think you have to be multiple and do both, and you got to keep him guessing. Right? There's going to be times he might get out and break the pocket, and then there's going to be times when hopefully he'll be in the pocket, but everything can't be designed one way. And I think we've learned that over the course of however many games, that there's times you got to take a shot and be aggressive, and you just can't be passive and sit there and So we're definitely not going to do that.
That's gotta be a concern of yours with this quarterback, because he can extend a play 6 or 7 seconds and then still get 160 yards downfield. I mean, you really gotta tell your safeties, your guys in the back end, don't let anything get past you, right?
That's what we tell them every week. Don't ever let anybody get past you. But yeah, I mean, sometimes these plays, there's the start to the play, and then there's the second part, right? The first part, when you're playing a mobile quarterback, you might take his read away, you might take this away, then all of a sudden he turns and starts running, and hopefully we can get him down. But yeah, those guys are going to have to cover for a little bit longer. They're going to have to plaster. They're going to have to stay in their zones. There has to be integrity within their zones. And you got to play really disciplined football against a player like this.